Right here, I have a stack of 3 Mercury WME carburetors. These were used on all kinds of Mercury outboards for decades. There's a lot of variations depending on horsepower, which is mostly jet sizing, but they do number them differently. So if you were to look at these on the side, it says WME right here, and then it has 45-1, 45-2, and 45-3. So it tells you top, center, and bottom. What do we need to do to get these things rebuilt so that this outboard will run again? Well, I'm going to show you. We're going to take one of these carbs, we're going to completely go through it, clean it all out, clean out the jets, clean out everything, replace gaskets with OEM Quicksilver gaskets, and get these things so that this outboard will run again like it was new. So here we have the bottom of our carb. Let's pop these 4 screws out. Let's pull our bowl off. Down in here is one jet, so we'll have to pull this out, pull that out. We're also going to have to clean up all of this. So let's push our float holder out of the way, and there's our needle just dropped into the depths. So let's scoop our needle back up out of there. There's our needle, seat. Set that off to the side. Peel our gasket off of here. Gasket isn't terrible, but we'll replace it anyways. Okay, so we got a lot of gunk around here. Let's run this. I went and looked and found what size I need of these jet cleaners. So these are all linked in the description. We need to shove this down through here and clean out the gunk in the path. There we go. We're going to need to spray stuff off, scrape off any of this gasket material that we can. So that's not going to come off just by wiping. Just come through. Take a little brake clean, spray it down that emulsion tube. Good there. Let's flip this over. I'm going to take this cover off. This has our idle stuff in here. We've got our mixture screw and everything. Pull out our adjuster here. Okay, all the passages up here are nice and clear, so we can get our new gasket and put this plate back on. Seared together there a bit. These gaskets harden up, they don't seal quite as good. So here's our new gasket in place. Our metal backer there. So I'm going to go with a general rule of thumb and we'll adjust it once it's on the boat. That's go in until it just seats. Right there. Doesn't feel like it goes wants to go any further, and I'm just not hard. So I'm going to come half a turn, 1 turn. That makes 1.5 turns out. So we'll probably need to come out a little more than that, closer to 2 or 2.5. But I'm going to start at 1.5 and we'll adjust from there. So back to the other side of the carb. We can set that off to the side, and we are going to, I don't think I'm going to be able to clamp that like that, am I? Maybe I can. We're going to pull our drain plug here out. Okay. Be able to put that back in. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on camera. This jet is plugged completely solid. So this is not labeled. So I'm just going to pick one of these cleaner picks and just try and run it through. Yep, look at the gunk on the end of that there. Whew, nasty. Just going to kind of clean this jet all up. Scrape any garbage that I can off of it. Now we got fuel flowing through there. Yeah, now it looks clean again. So let's drop it back down in. Thread this jet back in. Just snug. Flush it again. Just to make sure we're happy with it. Now, put our carb body back. And we are going to put our float with needle back on. Put our little pin back in. We're going to take and just clean this off. I've got some dirt on my fingers, so I'm getting dirt onto stuff. And we don't want dirt on stuff because that is what could cause us to have plugged jets again. So get our new gasket put back on there, and then we'll grab our float bowl here, and you notice there's some kind of grunge down there in the bottom. So what I'm going to do is put this drain plug back in here. Put some brake clean down in here. Just so there's some floating, kind of soften stuff up. Take a little screwdriver and just scrape off all of this grunge. And maybe you can see it floating down in there now. Lots of little nasty nuggets. We don't want those inside of our carburetor because that will plug up our jets. So now we're going to take this and tip it over into a jar. Give it a good spritz out over something so we can catch it. And look at that. So much cleaner, so much better. There's nothing in there now that'll plug a jet. So put this back on. Oh, hold on. Forgetting a gasket. There it goes. It fell on the floor, that's why I didn't see it. Our center gasket there. There we go. Now we're good there. Now we're ready to put it back together. there we have it. So this WME carburetor is now cleaned, ready for reinstallation. Now you could get a more involved rebuild kit that could have a needle and seat, replacement jets, things like that. But for the most part, a lot of times what I just saw and fixed today is what I see on all these. Jets get dirty, they get plugged. Now you need to be careful not to ream them out too far with those cleaning tools that I showed you, because then you're going to change the jet size and your engine may not run right. So basically you just want to take off the varnish that has built up in there, clean them out, use some brake clean, heavy solvent like that, and that's pretty much all you're going to need to do most of the time is clean the carb out. Now if you've had somebody who has tried to run some carb cleaners and things through it, it may have caused the needle and seat, or the tip of the needle, to swell up, get stuck in the seat, things of that nature. So it's important to look at this stuff when you're doing a cleaning, but I would recommend just ordering a gasket kit or disassemble your carbs and determine what you need, as long as you can keep all the parts separate, together, and clean all at the same time. So I know that doesn't make a lot of sense to have them separate and together, but don't have one carb parts inside your house, one in your garage, and one at your neighbor's house. You need them all in a spot where they're not going to get mixed up with other hardware, and then you can order whatever kit you end up needing. So hopefully this has been helpful to you and gets you and your Mercury WME carbureted outboard back on the water soon. Thanks for watching.